It can take thousands of years for the light of a star to reach Earth. And by the time we see it, the star might not even exist anymore. In other words, the light shines, even though the star is gone. Now, who knew Sonic 3 could be such a wise movie? This last week, the United States lost one of its stars, but the light of that star will continue to shine long after he is gone. It has been 6 years since our last former president died, and 12 years for the one before that. Jimmy Carter, well, I honestly don't know much about his presidency. That's before my time. But after his presidency, he used his platform to live his faith, serving and caring for and discipling others well into his 90s. Those whose lives he's touched with hammer and nail building habitat houses, I'm certain will never forget him. But for me, it was his words that were most powerful. And I'd like to share a few of those with you now. And as I do, please note that I'm stringing together multiple quotes from different places, different events. He didn't say all these things all at the same time. First, Jimmy Carter on peace. He said, "We cannot be both the world's leading champion of peace and the world's supplier of the weapons of war. War may sometimes be a necessary evil, but no matter how necessary, it is always evil, never a good. We will not learn to live together in peace by killing each other's children." Wouldn't it be nice if the United States of America could be a superpower in maintaining peace and be a champion of human rights? If we helped one person have a new friend, that's what I think would make America a better country. Carter's vision of the United States of peace came out of his faith. On faith, he said, "I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. I'm free to choose that something. That something, the something that I've chosen, is my faith. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. We should live our lives as though Christ is coming this afternoon." His faith drove him to places like Habitat for Humanity, groups that were serving and caring for the people Christ identified with most. On service, he said, "I have learned that our greatest blessings come when we are able to improve the lives of others. And this is especially true when those others are desperately poor or in need." Like I said, I honestly don't remember Jimmy Carter as a president. I'm not totally sure what all he accomplished during his time in office, but I remember him as a Christian, proclaiming peace to all the world, one Sunday school child and one Habitat for Humanity home at a time. On the night of the Epiphany, a new light shined in the sky. Well, that's not exactly true either. The light shining that night was a very old light, perhaps the oldest of all lights. It was likely a supernova, the brilliant flash of a dying star. That star exploded and died in brilliant light thousands, if not millions of years prior. But on this night, the light of that explosion first hit the earth. A dead star, in its dying breath, was still shining, brighter than anything else in the sky. And it may not have known it at the time, but that light, the light that it gave, revealed another light to us. the light of Christ. Now this starlight is different than all other lights in the heavens, not simply because it was shining within a tiny little human, though indeed that was something new, but because it was the light that gave light to the whole world. That's what John says in his gospel. The true light, which enlightens everyone, had come into the world. It's what Jesus tells his disciples. I have come as light to the world, so that everyone who believes in me should not remain in the shadows. And with Jesus, and with the arrival of Jesus, as it's put in John's letter, the shadows are now passing away, for the true light of heaven is shining. This is who Jesus is. Jesus is the one who makes the shadows go away. Time and again, we see Jesus removing the shadows from people's lives. Jesus brings light to the paralytic whose sins have broken their legs. Jesus removes the shadows from the 12-year-old girl laying in her deathbed. Jesus brings light to the woman whose bleeding has kept her in the shadows for 12 years. Jesus removes the shadows of demons beyond number. Jesus' light shines over and over again in the Gospels, removing and dispelling shadows. Jesus even gave me light to shine within me on my darkest days. For this little light of mine, or maybe more accurately, this little light of Christ, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And I'm going to let it shine on those days when I am struggling with depression. And I'm going to let it shine on those days when I feel lonely. And I'm going to let it shine on those days when failure threatens to consume me. Because those shadows are kept at bay with that little light of Christ shining deep within me. And he also gave you that light to shine within you on your darkest days. So this little light of Christ, say, I'm going to let it shine. Oh, come on. This little light of Christ, say, I'm going to let it shine. As Jesus said at your baptism, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will have the light of life. Paul also affirms it. For once you were shadows, but now in the Lord you are light. Live as children of the light. And so Christ commands you, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Because this is who we have now become, with the light of Christ in us, with the ones filled with Jesus' love. We are the ones who now make shadows go away. So this little light of yours, let it shine. Shine with the light of Christ and watch the shadows flee. Shine like Jimmy Carter, who always looked through the shadows of war toward the light of peace, who always looked through the eyes of faith toward the light of Christ, and who always looked through the light of Christ toward those who had shadows in their lives that he could dispel. And if ever there is a day when you're afraid to let the light of Christ shine in you, if ever there's a day when the shadows feel too big and you are worried about shining, remember the words of poet Marianne Williamson, words that were spoken at Nelson Mandela's inauguration. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that others won't feel unsure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And we let our own light, as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So let your light shine, because the light of Christ is burning in you this day, and it is a light that will never end. It will burn in you today and tomorrow and always. So say it with me again. This little light of mine, we'll try it. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Amen.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like if you heard good news and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest message. Peace be with you.